Hello and welcome everyone to this very important lesson on marketing and the art of selling something. So, as you probably have heard, there is an enormous hate storm all over the globe, especially in Europe and the United States, against Elon Musk and Tesla. Because Elon, as a head of Doge, is now under Trump cleaning out the US government from waste, fraud, and abuse. And since we are talking enormous numbers here, many people are not happy. And so there is an enormous organized backlash against Elon and Tesla as a brand. Now, I will explain in this video why this enormous hate storm we see all over the planet, all over the Western Hemisphere, will ultimately and very soon, even as we speak right now, boost Tesla sales counterintuitively and, in effect, boost the stock price in the coming months. So let me explain why. We will start with a very quick marketing lesson. Don't be bored. It's going to be very exciting and very, very brief. And I don't know if you took marketing in college, but maybe you will remember something that is called the sales funnel. And that is something that helps marketers to understand how something is selling and how you can actually sell something more effectively. So let's take a look at this. What you see here is the famous marketing funnel. And every marketer knows in order to get the purchase, you see here at the bottom, this is called the purchase. That's what you actually want, right? You want to achieve the purchase. But in order to get there, the human mind doesn't just jump into a purchase. You need to prepare the human mind of millions of potential customers. And it works through that marketing funnel. In the beginning, you need to create awareness. People have to have heard of you, right? Then you need to convert those who know of you into people who show some form of interest, right? Maybe you know of a great car, but you are a bike fanatic. You hate cars. You know and have awareness of the car, but you have no interest. But some people have interest. Same is true for brands. Maybe you've heard of BMW, but never had interest in it. But if BMW can convert you into someone with interest, that's great. From there, you go into the consideration phase. You don't just have interest, you have active, specific consideration that is then translated into intent. Okay, fine, I'm considering BMW, but now I actually want to buy it. I'm actually starting to look through prices, look through accessories. I evaluate, and ultimately I purchase. Evaluation is often the test drive when it comes to car marketing. I was doing this a very long time ago, so I know some things about that. I worked for Ford as a strategic consultant and for Mazda. Fun fact on the side. So now you know the marketing funnel. And what you have to understand, if you're McDonald's, if you're Ford, if you're Mazda, not if you're Tesla, that's a different thing. But these people and their professional marketing departments, they have allocated budgets for each of these things. And I tell you one thing, awareness, that is the most expensive thing in the world. To get people even be aware of what you're doing. What does it all have to do with Tesla, right? What is the point here? And in order to make this point, I will tell you a little tale. I made up this tale. You saw it in the thumbnail, and it's a tale, trigger warning. If you're sensitive, I will show some animals with fascist intentions, specifically little cute cats who are evil fascists. So if you can't handle these kinds of things, if you're sensitive, please tune out, shut down the video. This is going to get very triggering and dangerous. We're diving into the dark web here. Hey, creating these videos is a lot of work. Please like and subscribe. It really helps out the channel. Now let's get back to the video. So I want to tell you a little story. So imagine you have a t-shirt company, right? In order to understand this whole Tesla effect and the hate storm on Tesla and why this is a good thing, ultimately and right now for Tesla sales. Let's imagine you have a little t-shirt store. Let's say it's not a little t-shirt store, it's a big t-shirt store. And you're selling these t-shirts and you're selling 100,000 t-shirts per week. That makes you a 2% market share company. Similar to Tesla. Tesla has a 2% market share in cars. 98% of humans who buy cars do not buy Teslas currently. And that is the growth potential. Tesla could grow 50x just selling cars. So you're in the same position. You're selling 100,000 shirts per week, very happy, and you have the specific niche, right? And that niche is that you only sell cat memes, right? Cat memes are very important. They make a lot of people happy. For example, here, Nevertheless, she persisted, right? You get it. It's a cat meme. She didn't resist, she persisted. So it's like strong feminine story here. She persisted and people love it, right? I don't even know what I'm doing here. So you have this amazing t-shirt store and people can upload their own memes. And you're not famous. You're just this guy who makes, significant amounts of money, sells 100,000 t-shirts with cat memes, user generated. But then something happens. There's the election and you decide to donate to Donald Trump. So that makes you, in the eyes of some deranged leftists, already a fascist, but it's not well known, but you're doing that. Some people start boycotting your shirts, but then something horrible happens. A user, I don't know where, who knows from where, but a user creates a t-shirt in your cat store. And this t-shirt is a t-shirt of Kitler. I don't know if you know Kitler, but Kitler is a horrible, horrible cat. For example, here, guys, my cat want to go to art school. What should I do? And you understand, this is really bad. Here, 9 lives matter. You understand, 9 lives, cats, 9 lives matter. Dog is dead. This is also, dog is dead, dyslexic Kitler. This is, triple bad. It's a dark, dark reference to Nietzsche. Dog is dead, the dyslexic Kitler. So someone uploads this and creates a Kitler t-shirt in your store. And of course, because you donated to Trump, instantaneously the New York Times, CNN, call you literally Kitler. This guy is promoting extreme mega hate. There is a global firestorm. Your face is plastered everywhere on CNN, on MSNBC. They're like, this is the face of Kitlerism. The Third Reich is coming because of these Kitlers. And in Europe, the Spiegel, Stern, all these, the BBC is running, day and night, your face, the Kitler, the cats, the terrible paw thing, the gesture of the paws. So it's clear that you are promoting the Third Reich. And you're saying, dudes, I don't even know. I'm running a t-shirt store. I'm just trying to make people happy. But that creates an even bigger firestorm. It's like, oh my God, now he says he wants to make people happy. He literally is Kitler. And so what happens is you're getting this immense coverage, like Elon does right now. So you're basically the Elon of Kitlerism. And people start burning your t-shirts. People start hurting little cats. Very bad. And you're just going on TV like, dudes, I literally don't understand what's happening. It doesn't help. The firestorm gets worse and worse. Every single day, the headlines of the New York Times track the Kitler t-shirts you have. It shows how people burn down all the t-shirts. There are giant protests everywhere against you and your store. Okay, so it's really bad. Your stock tanks because investors on Wall Street are like, oh my God, the Kitler scandal. These cats are horrible. They're literally promoting, catsism or something. And you think, oh God, is that the end? But what actually happens behind the scenes, this creates roughly $20 billion in awareness spent on your t-shirt store worldwide, right? So before your awareness, you remember the funnel, your awareness was 1 million people. 1 million people knew about your store because it's a fun little cat store, but not a big deal. Now, your awareness goes from 1 million to 1 billion because every billboard in the United States, every cover in every medium, in the Spiegel, the Stern, BBC, in Europe, everyone has plastered your face and your t-shirts all over the place. No one can escape. Everyone hears you need to boycott and burn these shirts and hunt down the cats. And that drives awareness to 1 billion. 1,000 times awareness from 1 million people to 1 billion. And now, of course, not everyone is completely deranged. A lot of people think, wait, what? This is crazy. I have to go to the website. So you're checking your website statistics like, whoa, 1 million? Now it's 1 billion. My server crashed. Everyone's looking at my t-shirts. That's pretty interesting. And then you look at the checkouts and shopping carts. Your sales, right? You get 1 billion people interested. 200 million are actively interested and some trickle down to purchase. And instead of setting 100,000, now you're setting 1 million per week. Because a lot of people say, I get it. I do not think that Kitler is like a real thing. I don't think these cats are really creating the Third Reich. And what does it even mean? A Third Reich is like little furry creatures. Like, why is it so bad? Like, we don't get it. So a lot of people think this is very funny and like your t-shirts and start buying them. And what you see is you have triple, quadruple, 5 times the sales from before, even though the media thinks it's your end, because everyone thinks you're Kitler. But that's actually not true, because 80% of people think, whatever, dude, this is really stupid. These are little cats. This is kind of fake news. And many buy your t-shirts. So the effect is actually, boom, your t-shirt sales go through the roof. Okay, enough with this little example. You understand why I use Kitler. Because it's very hard to actually believe this is the end of humanity if someone posts a little cat. But we can see that leftists would probably freak out and say you are a complete, you're promoting Kitler. So what does it all have to do with Tesla? I think the effects of the hate against Elon is already backfiring, because we actually see now that a lot of people who never considered an electric vehicle, for example, a lot of center right wingers in Europe who normally don't like EVs. I saw this on X all over the place. I'm like, should I buy a Tesla? And a lot of them say, no, I will never buy an EV, but if I had to, I would buy a Tesla. I saw this like 100 times on X already. So that shows you in the marketing funnel. Awareness, now everyone has complete awareness of Tesla cars and of Elon Musk. And don't believe that everyone had that before. No, you still need this awareness. So intent is growing, right? Intent is growing. Now all these people like, I always hated EVs, but if I had to, I would buy definitely a Tesla. That tells the smart marketing mind, well, something is moving very rapidly here. People are moving from, no, I would never. It's like, but if I would buy a Tesla. We're talking about millions of people, millions. And then when you look at the actual numbers, that's also very interesting. We know that the Model Y just relaunched. That was why sales are down of Tesla, dramatically down, because Tesla stopped producing its number one car. But now is ready to relaunch it in all markets since last week, basically. And what we are seeing, in Europe and US, and what we are seeing is actually exactly what I would have predicted, or I predicted in this video. What we are seeing is that this looks very, very good for Tesla. The early numbers are in, and we see that China, for example, is going through the roof. Here, if you look at the sales numbers, 8,700 Model Y units sold week of March 3 to 9th, up from 6,700, right? 30% week over week increase because it became available. And the week after, 9,400, right? That is another huge increase from 8,700. So we see sales going straight up week over week. No surprise. And we see similar things now. For example, here, where I said in Norway, Tesla tilbake på top, right? So Tesla is back on top. Not surprisingly, Model Y is now, again, the bestseller in the first quarter. So you see that Norway, very important EV country, is now also back on top. Tesla leads the charts. So all that fake news and FUD is falling to the wayside, and people slowly realize not only was it all fake news because the production was stopped, that's the reason why it imploded. Now it's back up, but it's not just back up, it's going through the roof. And we don't know if it's just the Model Y that is such an amazing car, but I'm pretty convinced it is also the Kitler effect, right? If you spend tens of billions of dollars in effective media spent on destroying Tesla, all you're doing is to create massive amounts of awareness. You blow up the marketing funnel. You massively increase consideration. If you boost this, the entire funnel grows. You maximize awareness, you create interest, consideration, intent, and you will drive purchases. If on top of that, the scandal is all completely made up, and everyone who does even 1 minute of research understands Elon is actually not a Nazi, and his little salute was not a salute, it was a greeting from the heart to the people. And there is tons of evidence that, of course, Elon is not a Nazi. Everyone will understand that. And so this is a pure positive, if you ask me. Counterintuitive, but it's a pure positive, the global hate campaign. And it will result in immediate sales boosts that we will see this week, the week after, and then through the roof in the next weeks. And this will translate into the stock. The stock is already up today. And I think everyone starts to really get this. But I wanted to make sure you guys get it. I hope my little example helped illustrate the effects of hate stream media global campaigns against a brand that actually has nothing to hide. It blows up the funnel, it blows up the brand, and it increases sales like crazy. So I hope that was helpful. You enjoyed this little episode. We have much more coming very soon, and I hope to see you then.